Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. Thanks for watching WGXA News at 5:30.
Weather warning day issued for the extreme heat, turning into strong and severe storms.
Yeah, we've been hearing it right over the station here, and meteorologist Ryan Mirando is in the Weather Center tracking those storms. Ryan?
Amanda, we're tracking this bowling ball of energy that's been moving across the eastern half of the U.S. So notice all up and down along the eastern seaboard, there's tornado watches and warnings, and the storms are starting to head into our area. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in place for all the areas shaded. This means that the conditions are favorable for severe storms to be forming throughout most of the evening tonight and right about till midnight. So we're watching the storms move through. Most of the severe weather is up near Atlanta right now, even have some considerable warned storms. We have some pop-ups right now. We did have a severe warned storm that was right over Macon, but has been allowed to expire. This came with some heavy downpours and did come with severe warning. But when you have any severe warnings over you tonight, that's when you're going to want to shelter in place. Try to stay away from the windows. So showing about 7 o'clock tonight, those storms begin to head into middle Georgia. Even about 8 o'clock or so, we still have some of these strong storms in place for the rest of tonight. So what to expect? We do have the severe storms that'll be rolling through with widespread damaging winds possible. We have more chance for more storms tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Greg, Amanda.
All right, thank you, Ryan. It's a great time to download the WGXA weather app to keep track of these storms. Just scan the QR code on your screen, and it goes straight to your smart device, absolutely free. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes with your 10-day forecast.
A bus wreck on Saturday leaves more than a dozen people injured.
And here's what we know so far.
We're on overturned bus, 182 southbound, overturned bus with injuries.
Yeah, 10-4. It looks like it's full. It's a GBI agent on scene standing by. They're helping people get out of the bus.
Advise let EMS know there's going to be several injuries.
A Saturday afternoon crash left 13 people injured and all lanes on I-75 southbound shut down. A Greyhound bus destined to Miami flipped over just south of Forsyth. WGXA reached out to Greyhound for a statement, and they said, quote, Greyhound is aware of the incident that happened just outside of Forsyth, Georgia, and is fully cooperating with the Georgia State Police in their investigation. We hope for a quick recovery for passengers impacted by the incident, end quote.
The quick actions by Milledgeville Police and Fire Department are being celebrated tonight after they saved a man swept away by the Oconee River. Emergency units rushed to the Oconee River Greenway Saturday afternoon after calls of a man being carried downstream by the river's strong current. Emergency crews say he was swept away while wearing a floating device as he tried to get something from the river. When crews arrived, they launched 2 boats and were able to quickly find him and bring him back safely to his family.
A Crisp County teen is looking for a long list of charges after his mishandling of a gun that killed his aunt. Cordele police officers and Crisp deputies responded to a car wreck Friday night at Pateville Road and 13th Street. They found a woman shot and tried to give her aid, but she died from her injuries. Investigators say that 2 teens were in the back seat. The woman's 15-year-old nephew was the one handling the gun when it went off. He now faces multiple charges, including involuntary manslaughter and possession of a firearm by a minor.
To Washington County now tonight, where the sheriff's office says they have an update on a man's death back in March. According to the sheriff's office, the 13-year-old son of Charvis Lawrence has been arrested and charged with murder. Deputies were called to the Lawrence home early in the morning on March 25th. When they arrived, they found a woman trying to give the 40-year-old aid, but he did not survive.
A wanted suspect's time on the run in Bibb has come to an end. Deputies say this man tried to outpedal a Bibb K-9 unit and the special response team Saturday night. Now, they have not identified the man yet, but found him riding a bike around the county. When they tried to stop him, he took off, leading deputies on a short chase to Log Cabin Drive. While running from deputies, they say he tossed a gun, and he now faces charges from 9 warrants and a new charge for firearm possession by a convicted felon.
Bibb County deputies are asking for your help to locate a stolen trailer that you see on your screen. Authorities say it was stolen from a gated area at Makata Baptist Church. They say the suspect in a Ford F-150 was last seen going left on Houston Road toward Hartley Bridge Road. If you have any information on the crime, please call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. Well, tonight we are awaiting a response from former President Donald Trump's legal team to a protective order proposed by the federal prosecutors in the case against him and his alleged efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
Special counsel Jack Smith's office is hoping to prevent the sharing of evidence in the case. Now, at the same time, Trump has already been posting on social media about the judge, the witnesses, and the special counsel. Christine Frazao brings us a look at the case that is dominating the news cycle.
It's become a media landscape like no other.
A federal grand jury has voted to indict the former president,
charged with attempting to remain in power even when he knew he had lost the election.
It's the third time he's been indicted on criminal charges since leaving the White House.
A single story dominating the news cycle that even Donald Trump himself seems to want to remain.
Every time they file an indictment, we go way up in the polls. We need one more indictment to close out this election.
The election also playing out in Iowa, where 2024 GOP presidential candidates gathered to little fanfare and little interest in their policy proposals, instead fielding countless questions about the former president, most doing that delicate dance of not wanting to alienate Trump voters, but also trying to look ahead.
If, on the other hand, the election is not about January 20th, 2025, but January 6th, 2021, or what document was left by the toilet at Mar-a-Lago, if it's a referendum on that, we are going to lose.
January 6th and Donald Trump's alleged role in it will for now loom large over the national debate. One point of contention, U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan, known for issuing higher sentences to convicted January 6th rioters than even prosecutors had asked for, telling one rioter that he did not go to the United States Capitol out of any love for our country. He went for one man. In a post on Truth Social, Trump called Judge Chutkan Jack Smith's #1 draft pick, the judge of his dreams. Looking ahead, any day now, we are expecting a fourth indictment to be issued against former President Donald Trump for allegedly trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election in the state of Georgia. In Washington, I'm Christine Frazao.
And we're getting a fresh look at the state of consumer debt in the United States. In June, the total amount of debt held by Americans jumped more than 4% from the year before.
Altra El-Nashar explains how rising interest rates are making it tougher to pay off debt.
Debt for Americans is piling up. Between May and June, consumers used nearly $18 billion in credit. And a new study from Bankrate shows when it comes to credit card debt, paying it off can take a while.
We found that 60% of people with credit card debt have had it for at least a year. And that's up from 50% 2 years ago. And I think this really speaks to the cumulative toll of inflation and also the cumulative toll of the higher interest rates.
The study finds the biggest causes of debt are emergency expenses like medical bills and car repairs. And debt tends to be harder to shake for higher earners.
If you have a six-figure income, you may be less likely to have credit card debt, but if you do have it, there's about a 7 in 10 chance that you've had it for at least a year.
Meanwhile, auto loan delinquencies are occurring at a higher rate than they were during the Great Recession, according to TransUnion and S&P Global Mobility. And some borrowers could be stretched even further when federal student loan payments restart October 1st. The Biden administration's upcoming repayment terms mean the Department of Education won't report delinquent payments that occur before September 30th of 2024. What will show up sooner is whether resumed payments on a cumulative $1.7 trillion in student loans erode consumer spending. The Federal Reserve already aiming for a slowdown in demand through higher interest rates.
I expect that additional increases will likely be needed to lower inflation to the FOMC's goal.
Lower prices could mean people feel less of a need to reach for their credit card instead of paying cash, but will bring on more expensive debt when they do. In Washington, I'm Altra El-Nashar reporting.
And part of that rising debt involves gas prices. They are going up. The average price for a gallon of gas in Macon sits at $3.59 today.
That's 43 cents more than we were paying last month. The price is up 11 cents since last week and 21 cents higher than last August. We spoke to some Middle Georgia drivers about the growing pain at the pumps.
Well, the gas prices going up affect me greatly because I'm on a retirement income. And so every time I have to run to the store or go do this or that and running around, it's just astronomical, and it's hard to work it all out with the finances.
I have to pay for my gas out of pocket because I'm a 1099 employee. So all of that comes right out of my pocket, and I do get to write it off on taxes, but it's very expensive.
Gas buddy analyst Patrick Tahan says that he continues to impact refineries, and oil price increases are to blame for the growing prices.
And if you're looking to save a little money, the Tykes, Tots, and Teen Semi-Annual Consignment event might help you out a bit.
The event returning to the Georgia National Fairgrounds this week, where over 40,000 square feet is stocked full of items for babies, kids, and teens. The founder of the sale says there's something for everyone.
And we've got 800 participating local parents this season. So again, all fall and winter clothing, toys, baby equipment, shoes, maternity, juniors, furniture, electronics, arts and crafts, anything that you can think of for a newborn all the way to a teenager, we've got it.
The sale starts Wednesday the 9th and lasts through Sunday the 13th. For more information and all the deals on sale, visit our website, WGXA.tv. It's a Middle Georgia proud story. 3 African Americans were inducted into the Georgia State USBC Hall of Fame in Atlanta Saturday, and one of the men is right here in Middle Georgia.
That's right. Our Carlos Stevens was in Atlanta this weekend and introduces us to our local inductee from Warner Robins. Carlos?
Greg and Amanda, they call him Mr. 300, and it's all because of his 38 perfect scores that landed him a lifetime achievement this weekend. Mr. Cornell Jackson has bowled for more than 30 years. Through the span of 30 years, Jackson says he feels pretty accomplished.
I feel proud. I feel like I've achieved a lot through bowling.
And achieved would probably be an understatement when you listen to all of his accomplishments. Jackson was the All-Star champion for Middle Georgia in 2006. Also won the Welcome Back tournament in 2006 as well. He's also an 8-time Bowler of the Year. He also went into the local Hall of Fame in 2012, and the list goes on. Now Jackson is in the Georgia State USBC Hall of Fame. Jackson started his bowling career in 1991. Jackson says he was introduced to bowling through a church league. Jackson told me about one of his most memorable moments during his career.
My highest score was 845.
Jackson says while he's proud to be one of the first African Americans inducted into the Georgia State USBC Hall of Fame, he never saw it coming.
I've never looked and pat myself on the back for stuff, and I never thought that I would achieve something like this.
But Jackson credits his brother for helping him to become one of the best to ever bowl.
Well, I have a twin brother, and we was trying to beat up on each other and talk trash, and that really instilled in me to push me to be all I could be.
But of course, Jackson also had goals of his own that he believes brought him this far.
To shoot a 300 every time I get on the lane.
Now, Jackson told me this weekend also that he encourages parents to get their child involved with bowling. But in the meantime, he says he'll continue doing what he loves. We're live here in Houston County. I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
Thank you, Carlos. And the Georgia Little League baseball team is now out of the running for the Bowman. The team losing 0-4 this morning against Tennessee. Now they'll be taking on Florida tomorrow evening for the Southeast Regional Championship. The winner of that game will be in Game 10 of the World Series on Friday, August the 18th, up in Pennsylvania.
Tomorrow, the Macon community has a chance to give back and enjoy some delicious food in the process.
They sure do, Amanda. Tomorrow is Panda Cares Day, and all 3 Middle Georgia Panda Express locations are helping raise funds for Atrium Health Navicent. Tomorrow, 25% of all pre-tax sales from food will go to our local hospital. One general manager for Panda Express says events like these hold a special meaning to her and others across the mid-state.
You know, not only am I the manager at Panda Express, but also a parent of a patient here. So therefore, it adds extra meaning to me that this children's hospital is great and it's good for other parents as well.
Panda Express announced its commitment to raise over $441,000 by the end of 2030 to benefit Atrium Health Navicent Beverly Knight Olson Children's Hospital. So far, over $160,000 have already been donated.
And tonight's a good idea to stay weather aware with a weather warning day in place for the extreme heat today, turning into some extremely strong to severe storms. We have a level 3 and 2 out of 5 for the severe risk today. This means we could see quite a few storms turn severe, with the primary threat being for that damaging wind threat that could easily down power lines or trees. So we're going with weather warning day today and even for tomorrow, as well as we could be seeing even more severe storms. If you're watching on your TV, take out your phone and scan the QR code on the screen so that you can download the WGXA Sky Watch Weather app. It'll tell you when you have any of those watches or warnings in place, and it's really the best option for maintaining that severe weather awareness. So what we're tracking on satellite and radar is just a outbreak of severe weather really across the East Coast. And we are watching that we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place. This means the conditions are favorable for severe storms to be forming until about midnight tonight for those areas highlighted. Right now, we do have a few pop-up storms, but notice up near Atlanta right now, quite a lot of severe activity, and this will be slowly moving to the south and east through the later hours tonight. But we still do have a few pop-up storms out there right now. This was a severe warning storm in Macon. It's pushing over further into Twiggs and Wilkinson County with some heavy downpours, a few frequent lightning strikes, and also here in Washington and Hancock County, it's got a few more pop-up storms out and along the radar. But really later tonight, around 7 o'clock, that line of severe thunderstorms will be barreling through with that heavy downpour through the heart of our viewing area about 7 o'clock tonight. But even about 8 and 9, it begins to move to the south and east. So it's still going to be a good idea to stay weather aware. Otherwise, it's extremely hot out there. Many areas are under an excessive heat warning. Feels like temps near 113 degrees in Macon. That is beyond sweltering. 119, it says in Forsyth, 112 in Montezuma, and 110 in Hawkinsville. We got so much juice in the atmosphere for these storms to be firing up too. And we'll keep that high heat index Tuesday, Wednesday up to 103, even Thursday and Friday in that dangerous category once again. So we're back with that heat and humidity much for the rest of this week. The rest of tonight, we could have a few of those isolated storms once the severe activity moves out. Overnight low around 73 degrees. And in your 10-day forecast, even tomorrow is a good idea to stay weather aware as we have some more storms barreling through, mainly south of Macon through the afternoon, up to 94 degrees tomorrow. Wednesday, we're back to some normal summertime pattern, up to 94 degrees with a few scattered storms around. Thursday, hot with some storms, 95. And we do it again for the last day of the work week. Some scattered PM storms with a 94-degree high. Heading into the weekend, we're just going to rinse and repeat that forecast. We got isolated storms that bubble up during the afternoon with temperatures into the mid-90s. So lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing and game forecast, peaking in the good category at 8 a.m. and 8:40 p.m.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here all about animals in Macon-Bibb County. Once again, I'm joined again today with Lisa and Frank. Guess who we're going to tell you about today?
Look at this loving, kissing puppy.
Beautiful.
Say his name is Rip.
Rip.
Yeah.
Now, Rip is about how old now?
I would say 6 to 8 months old. Come here, baby. We want to see you. Full of puppy energy and puppy love and a little bit of that puppy breath left. He's one of our older puppies, and he really needs a home. We don't want him to grow up here. We really don't.
No, we don't. And he's still got plenty of life left in him. He's a beautiful dog. Of course, still, full of energy. And so probably be good with kids. So if someone would like to adopt Rip, how would they go about doing that, Lisa?
Please send us a message on Facebook, All About Animals Rescue, and let us know you saw Rip on TV, and one of our volunteers will get back with you as soon as possible to meet this smart boy.
All right, let's go ahead and do that today. Let's find Rip a really good home, because he definitely deserves that. Thank you so much, Lisa and Frank.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
A weird and wonderful star turn into the Barbie movie gives a toy company another creation to sell. Comedic actress Kate McKinnon, who plays a whacked-out version of Barbie in the movie, capable of oddball splits and entices regular Barbie to go to the real world, now has become the model for Mattel's new Barbie version, Weird Barbie. Mattel debuted the creation on Instagram Friday, and fans can pre-order the toy on Mattel's website through August 18th.
Sure they didn't model this after me, because that's what I'm looking like right now, especially on the inside.
We don't see it, so I'm
Really?
not sure.
You don't see like the fluffy weird hair, got some like weird scars and like, I don't know.
No.
No? Oh.
I think you'd be more like regular Barbie or Ken.
Maybe.
I haven't seen it yet though.
Do you
so-
see this face? This face
This
is no
face?
sympathy.
What the?
Listen at you with your wonderful hair and your youngness there.
I'm like,
and your youth and beauty, and he's fishing
I'm looking
for compliments is
At
what
least
he's
I'm
doing.
still looking like a glazed donut today, so that's pretty nice.
Oh, good. Lord help us. All right, well, that's going to do it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you there. Bye.
Glazed donut.
Glazed donut.